Hello, sir. Like a lot of folks, I was not actually witness to the original Apollo 11 mission. I grew up as a child with the space program being a very exciting time, and like most young people, just excited by the idea of space travel. But it was when I was an adult that the Apollo program, and specifically Apollo 12, became very important to me when I learned that they sent an artist to the moon, and that was an extraordinarily exciting idea to me, that if they could send in these amazing pilots to the moon, that was great. And I couldn't relate to that, but to the idea that they could send an artist and a practical joker and people to the moon who were at the top of their game and brilliant people, but also able to enjoy the moment, enjoy the ability to be there. And that was how I became involved with the theater company Apollo 12. And we've been together for 12 years now, and we've always taken that idea of being ruthlessly playful to heart. That we want to play at the top of our intelligence, we want to play with our audiences in the smartest possible way, but to be joyful in doing so. And that has been a constant thing that I look to the Apollo program for, and the space program in general, as improving ourselves, being the best we can be, and enjoying every step of the way.
I went to school at Northern Arizona University, and I was an astronomy major for the longest time. And we had, I've always had a passion for science, and I hooked up with people that also had a passion for science. And we performed in an acting group, and the acting group was inspired by Apollo 12, the Apollo 12 mission, which was amazing. The Apollo 11 mission was inspired and amazing, and we had, it was hopeful. And the Apollo 12 mission was crazy and joyful, and we really latched on to the Apollo 12 because it seemed to more represent who we were and what we wanted to say. But Apollo 12 and all of the Apollo missions were basically a culmination of science, a triumph of meticulous hard work and a huge payoff. And that's what we try for as well.
Hi Buzz, my name is Tommy Cannon. I'm not the famous one from England. I do some comedy, mostly improv. I've done a lot of comedy and improv with a group here in Phoenix, Arizona called Apollo 12. We got that name for our troupe based off of the Apollo mission. It was a mission that blended science and rocketry and astronautics and all those great things, and it blended in that element of silly. Now, normally a person, you know, wearing a collared shirt and coming from Phoenix would say, "Oh, it was great about adventure and silliness." But I was raised by a very fun-loving, laughing, comedy-enjoying mother, and I've got a lot of cartooning in my background and puppetry. So I've already got the silliness in droves to a fault. What I really take home from being in a troupe that was called Apollo 12 and studying what Apollo 12 was about was that spirit of silly in these men who could be astronauts. They were scientists, they were responsible. These were responsible people. You have to have a strength, you have to be like kind of like a mental rock to be able to go out into space, to do this mission, to even have a job at NASA at all. So that's my take home from it. My dad, he's more of that kind. He's a rock, he's steady, he knows his math, he knows his science. So maybe in these more later years, and as I'm learning to live with my crazy actions, is to kind of maybe embody more of that spirit of the astronaut and the Apollo program. Thanks, Buzz. Have a great night.
Why we called Apollo 12, it kind of goes to the spirit of what our show is. We did take our name from the second moon mission to land on the surface of the moon, and knowing that this was a mission that they just took the job seriously, but had a good time with it. That's kind of the spirit of what our show is we definitely take our craft seriously, but we do everything we can to have as much fun as possible with what we do. and play smarts, play fun, play crazy, and just embrace the joy and the playfulness of everything that we do.
Hi Buzz, my name is Arturo Ruiz and I grew up in Mexico. The space program was, I remember when I was a little kid and I first found out about it, and it was one of the first really scientific things that myself as a little 7-8-year-old got really into. I remember poring over my dad's encyclopedias, and there was a whole section on space flight and on the Apollo missions and the Mercury missions, and I was just fascinated by all of this. And the names of the Apollo astronauts, Apollo 11 mission, that was one of the very first things, pieces of nerd trivia that I could spout out to people in my class, things that my classmates did not know. Apollo and NASA and the whole space program had a deep effect in my nerdy self. So I thank you for that.
Apollo 12 was my first, the beginning of my improv experience, and I think that the people to whom the name meant the most has brought the ideals of the Apollo program into the Apollo 12 improv, and have very much affected the way that I approach and think about improv. I don't think I was ever meant to be an astronaut, but I've very much been taught and embraced the ideals of discovery and achievement, and just finding out what we can do and what we can imagine. And it all seems perhaps a bit lofty to compare something that I do on stage with the monumental achievement of actually having gone to the moon. But I think that that the name very much honors what we brought from that name into Apollo 12 and what was given to me in the legacy of my life in improv.